Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here. I'm the founder and CEO of NightDragon, and we're coming to you live from the RSA 2025 conference in San Francisco. This year, we expect over 40,000 people at the largest single cybersecurity conference in the world. And we're hosting today some of the hottest IPO or pre-IPO companies that are done really, really well, what I call the rising titans of cyber. And we're excited today to have an unbelievable cast of people and excited to bring it to you with my co-host, David Chen, and long-term friend, who is the global head of technology for investment banking for Morgan Stanley. So I brought in a co-host to help me today. Thank you so much for being here.
So honored to be here, Dave. Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We've worked together a long time. Today we have Claroty here. I hope everybody knows who Claroty is. Geyer is the Chief Strategy Officer for Claroty and been at the company for quite a few years.
5 years now.
5 years now, Chief Product Officer before that, helping to build. Tell everybody for a minute what Claroty does and how do you spell Claroty? Just do that first.
So I didn't realize there was going to be a spelling
test.
It's Claroty. I'll explain why it's the OT in a second. So Claroty is focused on helping asset-intensive enterprises protect their environments. So if you think about critical infrastructure, oil and gas pipelines, electric grids, manufacturing plants, even hospitals or smart buildings, all of these technologies, all of these classes of organizations are going through digital transformation initiatives in order to gain a competitive advantage. Mm-hmm. However, and to do this, they use new emerging tech that has for automation, which requires hyperconnectivity. So if you think about programmable logic controllers or smart buildings or connected medical devices, all of these technologies are required in order to help organizations get to that next stage of Industry 4.0 or Healthcare 4.0. And they have, what is common about all of them is they have 1 foot in the digital world connected to the internet and 1 foot in the physical world. So now a cyber attack can not only, if a cyber attack impacts one of these devices, it can cause harm in the physical world. And this can cause damage to a production line. Even patients are connected to these devices. So the imperative is incredibly high for society. And that what Claroty does is we help organizations protect their infrastructures and their cyber physical systems from these types of new and emerging threats.
Nice. Now we know how to spell Claroty. We got that.
Yeah, Grant, that's fantastic. Thanks for being here. I think, the space has been around for a while. So why don't you give us a sense for why is the time now for Claroty and the IoT and OT opportunity?
Great question. So if you think about, industrial plants from 20 or 30 years ago, they were all closed systems with closed networks. But to take advantage of digital transformation, think about an auto manufacturer that is doing predictive analytics on robots, or just-in-time ordering system for a retailer, or smart building manufacturers that are focused on sustainability and energy efficiency. All of these organizations need to have these cyber physical systems connected up to the internet. And that is breaking through the traditional barriers and providing entree for hackers to now break in. So you can't responsibly go on this digital transformation journey unless you are doing it responsibly, which is caring for the cybersecurity needs of the organization.
Yeah, amazing. Claroty has been kind of like my firstborn. Grant knows I've been involved with Claroty for over 10 years now, since it was kind of a little baby, and watched it grow up. And congratulations on amazing success. This company is killing it. Talk for a minute, Grant. You have a military intelligence background as well, former West Point. You understand government. Some of the threats and risks we've seen in the last year, what I call the typhoon, Salt Typhoon, Volt Typhoon, some of the Russian activities have really put a spotlight on the importance of this, not just protecting critical infrastructure, but now nation states attacking it as well. Talk a little bit about the threat environment, if you would.
Yeah, so look, in the future, the first stages of a war will not be fought with bombs and bullets. It'll be taking out a country's critical infrastructure through cyber attacks. You have to look no further than General Nakazawa's comments regarding Chinese cyber attacks against the military base at Guam to know that part of the Chinese playbook is, in case of a kinetic warfare with Taiwan, would be to disable the naval base's ability to put planes in the air and ships at sea. And if we look at Russia's recent attacks against water utilities within the United States, what they're looking to do is sow seeds of confusion to have the populace question the government's ability to protect them. So this is now part of our adversaries' playbooks, and why it's not just about individual risk for individual companies, but thinking about how you protect national security, economic security, and public safety through these types of technologies and these types of offerings.
Yeah, let me camp onto that question. You guys recently discovered IO control. So give us a sense for what that is, and does that kind of even change the game even further for this industry?
Yeah, so this is Iran's IGRC cybersecurity unit,
Yeah.
otherwise sometimes known as Cyber Avengers, has developed a modular toolkit that can go after programmable logic controllers, HMIs, firewalls. Think of it as kind of like the Rubik's Cube that can go after a variety of different physical controls. It can even disable fuel pumps. So imagine the ability to take out a country's ability to deliver fuel to cars or to military trucks. And so this is just endemic of new techniques our adversaries are using to accomplish their same geopolitical goals, which is why we need to think about this new space differently. And what's really interesting is that IT security is a well-covered market, but we don't think about IT security as just one market. It's SIM and firewalls and IDS and GRC tools, but yet at this stage, cyber physical system, people think of as one market. And so I think that when we think about all of the different ways that we need to protect our country against our adversaries, there are multiple different offerings and adjacencies that we see Claroty being able to shift and build into, which creates an enormous market opportunity for Claroty.
Grant, this company's come a long way. And maybe last question as we wrap up here is, how do you see the future of Claroty? This company has gone from zero to well north of 100 million. The road to 500 million is not an easy road to do. Sometimes companies who achieve that, greatness, IPOs, things like that. What do you see for vision, product, direction, strategy for a minute as we wrap up?
We started focused with an entirely on-prem solution for industrial cybersecurity. And one of the big moves we made about 3 years ago is we acquired a company called Medigate to both expand our market into medical cybersecurity. And in addition to that, also shifted our offerings to the cloud. So at this point, over 80% of our net new revenue is coming from SaaS as opposed to on-prem where we started. And we think that this is just only the beginning. So many organizations can't make the changes required in their environments to buy down risk, which is why we think so much is about how do you secure user's machine, machine to machine, and cloud workload to machine communications. And that can be done with adjacent technologies, which will expand Claroty's market opportunity that much further.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grant Geyer from Claroty, one of the most important, in my opinion, companies protecting our critical infrastructure from all the threats that we've talked about, regulatory areas we didn't talk much about, and real importance, I think, in the future of a market segment that's only penetrated by a small percentage at this point. Eventually, everybody will have to deploy here because we have to due to the threat and risk. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you, David Chen, as well.
Thanks for having me.